Hello, yes, and thank you for being patient with us. We are live in the Netherlands today for PS F1. I'm your commentator and host, Darius Mazahari, stepping in for Mr. Luke Jobson, who is unable to host due to internet issues. So, at the Netherlands today, and let's get some details up. On this fine Sunday evening, 14 drivers in the grid today, a couple of no-shows due to real-life commitments, which always is more important than sim racing for the majority of people. 14 turns here in total, two DRS zones, with a fast-paced sector 1, followed into a slower right-hand based sector 2 as is yellow flag, and in sector 3. And our first driver we will follow today will be the Aston Martin, who's in a hot lap now, of Moustache. Heads into turn 1 now, nice little hairpin right-hander. It's just usually in 4th gear, he's going to take it in 3rd, following into turns 2 and 3, which can be flat out with slight lift, coming into the tricky hairpin of turn 4. Can take that a variety of ways, and that includes sector 1 as there's a car in front of him. It nicely gets out of the way. I think it's Aurelian. Now hitting a 23.9 for sector 1 into sector 2. First right-hander, very, very smooth there. And second one there. Now, traction can be a bit tricky in this area here. A bit of a shake there. Going very, very wide. Nice line there. Now coming into the DRS zone, which is the gap between sector 2 and sector 3, as we have a yellow flag also in sector 3. Coming up to the end of the DRS zone where there's a tricky chicane, and it's very easy to end up on the beach there. Hope you brought your suntan and sun cream. Now, penultimate turn, very, very important here, as this determines the exit you will get for the main straight. And Moustache is going to come across the line now, and this is looking to be in the 109s. No, it's a 108.399. Lovely stuff from him. He goes much faster than Botta, who I'm assuming had a little moment in his original lap. It's another yellow flag in sector 2, or sector 1 was it, sorry. I'm assuming that's Botta just getting out of the way, as we have other drivers on hot laps. Pan Gris is starting his lap now. My controller is shaking very violently for some reason. As Luno is now currently in sector 2, and he sets a 47.866 going into the final sector, just past the tricky chicane and into the second last turn. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm quite hungover today as well, so I will do it the best I can. I was out last night, living my best life clearly. As these odds are 108.894. So, Moustache still quite on top by 4 tenths. 4.5 tenths actually, nearly. 5 tenths, sorry. He's the best time setter so far. As Frank the Tank, we all love him, sets a 108.443. And it turns out some of these turns have names on this track, which I never knew, as there's yellow flags in sector 1 and sector 2. Aurelian sets a 108.669 and Pangri sets a 108.603. Very, very good stuff from them. It has been a busy week in Ero, with lots of drivers coming and going and sorting a plethora of things. The great admin team busy at work, as always. Now, just to get a look at the standings for F1 to see who currently is top. As David Fernandez is currently on top, who I don't think is racing today. He's not, no. Followed by Aurelian Le Penroux, second. As Cohen is currently on a hot lap. Frank is in 3rd after a decent showing, I think. P6 in Brazil and a P3 in Hungary. Cohen heading into DRS on sector 2 now. Let's see what his time will be after the split. it would be a 47.8. And of course, everyone's favourite commentator in the world, Jean Gooding, on his outlap about to start his first attempt of this afternoon. Cohen coming across the line now, looking to be in the 108s probably. 108.825, which is good for fifth. Good stuff. And we will ride on board with Mr. Jean, as Twist is also leaving Sector 2 now in a second. As Chris Ledson's there, going to turn 4, takes it quite narrowly, doesn't extend the track as much as he wants to. And he is going to have a bit of traffic in front of him. He gets nicely out of the way. Coming in here, no curve, very nice. You have to be very careful with the orange curves here, otherwise you will lose the car. Could get a bit wider there, but that's okay. This curve on the left is also a curve of death. 47. Oh, 48.1, okay. Plenty of curve there. And the third takes it nice and wide. Bit of a shaky moment there. Second last turn now, turn 13. At a 109.2, so not the best lap from Crystal. We know he's capable of better than that, but still not a bad banker lap. Vilzer set 109.1 while we were talking SHITE, and that is everyone's first laps apart from Scotty, who hasn't actually set a lap yet. So, what seems to be the strategy nowadays in F1 23 is usually just to set 2 laps, and you save 1 set of softs for the race. Depending on safety cars, this could be a 2 or 3 stopper. And yeah, going further down the list of the people in here, we have Panos Nikolaidis, who is currently in 6th place in the championship. Michael Eden, the sniper himself, in 5th. Twist is in 4th. Rafael Willer. Evan Kanayo, I don't think is racing today. He's not, no. He's currently in 8th. Ville is in 9th. And Calais, I hope I said your name correctly, is in 10th. So, a chance for a few of the drivers today who were racing to catch up in the rivals who are not racing, obviously. Mustache setting a decent first lap, and only Frank has really kind of managed to keep with him. Most of the drivers now coming up for the second attempt. Bit of a train now behind Frank with the back. He has to be careful here now. He doesn't want to lose track position. People mentioned that he's letting him pass. I think that was Liam Cross who went past him. I'm correct, yeah. And Liam is going to be the first one to tackle his second hot lap S10. He takes a bit of curve there now, might affect his time. And here we go, into turn 1 with Liam, former admin of Ero. Busy man. Now, let's turn 1 quite nicely there, into turn 2. No, tiny bit of left, that's fine. Into the hairpin. Has a bit of a shake there, but that's reasonably okay. Now, flat out here for this next sequence of turns to end sector 1 with a 24.4. He had 4 tenths up on his time. It's not great, but anyway, he'll keep pressing on. And he's, ooh, let's hope he saves the car there. He may have to go back into the pits, unfortunately for Liam. Hard luck there, sir. Let's have a look and see who else is on the hot lap. I'm sure Frank would be on one. And he is. He's in the DRSM, but I think he's there this time. Yeah, he's aboard his lap as well. Man, who else? Brilliant is okay. Heading around the second last turn now, and he's taking a lot of curve there, but he should be okay. Early shifting as well. Nobody saw that. Netherlands is a bit of a tricky track because you can actually get a penalty, a 3-second time penalty from entering the pits. In this game, there's a glitch in it. Has been reported in the past. Stewards are well aware of it. Moving on. Kenny is just after finishing his lap, so he's not going to be attempting another one. With Cohen just coming out of the pits. And passing him was the Alfa Romeo of Lizzie. Heading into turn 4 now, but he's also on no battery. And we have Crystal starting his second hot lap attempt. Heading into turn 1, take the braking slot and try and not touch that curve if at all possible. Sorry, seeing around here. Oh, that was lovely and coming okay. Heading into the tricky hairpin. Decides to take it initially wide and now then. Setting a 24.2626, marginally up on his time. See what he can do around here. You can take that turn a variety of ways. You can brake or you can just take it flat out if you pick your turn-in point correctly. That turn there, I think that is turn 10. It's called Bocht 10. Okay, so Bocht 10 can be quite tricky for traction as well if you're not careful. And coming up to Kumino Bocht, and then I'm going to try and say the last one. Vries can do that later if he's listening to the stream or any of our Dutch compatriots. And he is going to set a 109.118. Still no improvement. As Twist has decided to go faster into the 108.2s. He's going to be pretty happy at that time, I think. Looks like to be the fastest man on the track today, and nobody is going to give him a challenge at the moment with his lovely Ferrari helmet. Scotty still not coming out of the garage. He may have a quali ban, I'm not sure, as the game is not letting me use my left trigger. And Cohen is on the grass. Ooh, has to be a bit careful there. I think Liam Cross had to get out of the way, or sorry, Crystal had to get out of the way. Only 3 drivers out on track at the moment. Cohen not having the best of times now at the moment either. And Twist will be heading back into the pits after his latest lap. I'm assuming Chris will be doing the same. So every week we poll our drivers in Ero to ask them what do they think about predictions for the race, opinions on the track, and the like in our weekly questionnaire briefing done by each tier's coordinator. And for this week, quite a few drivers are backing themselves. Aurelian expects himself to win today. It's great to have confidence in yourself. Liam Cross says Zandvoort is great for playing with other drivers, forcing them into errors they never knew existed. Hopefully Liam will show us what he means today by that. A lot of dummying and a lot of baiting people on the track. Brendan Gashi calls it the best track, end quote. And he wants 200 penalty points on his license. Panos thinks this track is fantastic. He loves it and he hopes he is for good points. And Jean, when the question from Malvin, our tier coordinator, was another AlphaTauri is starting to pull away in the championship. Can any teams come close? And he thinks the Haas, naturally his own team, are going to say something about it as Liam starts his next lap and I finish talking nonsense. As Liam hits turn 1, hopefully to avoid the spinning that he did now in this last hot lap attempt. Coming in to 2 and 3. Has a bit of traffic in front of him now. Hopefully they all just realise that he's on a hot lap and get out of the way. Liam looking to improve as one gets out of his way. Oh, he's got a lot of traffic here. Oh my god. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy. What have we just after witnessing there? Luno, you need to be looking at the map, mate. Not great. It's going to be bitterly disappointing for Liam. Luno gets 5 plays per penalty, and that's well deserved for being naughty. As we have had another driver after joining us, the Ferrari in Alidini. We'll find out who that is. Alidini, which is Elker Dia. Okay. And I think we're after witnessing more chaos because I think Builder's binned it. And Marco is retired from the session as well. I think Marco's just left actually. And we will fire on his moustache. Is heading into Sector 2. Aurelian is saying his connection crashed as well. Right. That's not good. Anyway, we will stay on here and just let Malvin, the tier coordinator, do his magic. His moustache is coming into the DRS, the second DRS zone of this fabulous track in Zandvoort. And now, coming into the second last turn. And he'll be hopefully improving on his time. And give Twist a run for his money as a lot of drivers are retiring from the session, as he does set indeed set fastest lap at 108.121. Yeah. And I think this may actually end up being the grid for the race. And that is quality done, though I'm not entirely sure what is going on. And to round out our starting grid anywhere, and as Aurelian says, he cannot connect. Moustache in first, Twist in second, Frank third, Matt Zozo in fourth, Pangrio in fifth, Aurelian sixth, Kenny seventh, Crystal eighth, Cohen ninth, Luno 10th with a 5-place group penalty after that horrendous block of Liam Cross. Bottom Marco 11th, Vilzu 12th, Liam 13th, Aldini 14th, Scotty 15th. And it's looking like this is going to be a lobby restart. So bear with us while we have to set up the lobby. As it is raining here, and it looks to be quite heavy weather as well in the sand dunes of Zandvoort. As we are just working on if we will be having a restart or not here. Well, 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go as Moustache and Twist look almost going to come together coming into turn 1 as there's a lot of shaking at the back there, and the Red Bull almost coming into contact with the Haas. A lot of drivers now slipping off the track as there's a yellow flag now already in sector 1 as the Williams of Matozo isn't gone to the very far back. Aurelian probably going to be dropping down because I'm not sure he's in the lobby, as is the Haas on the gravel as well. Vilzu getting past Liam. Few cars ghost is probably Aurelian's car as Vilzu has gotten past him, and Luno, unfortunately for him, further up the field, Moustache has managed to get away cleanly, so is Twist and Pan. Crystal up in the 4th. Let's have a look and see after that chaos who has made what. So, Crystal making up 4 places, Aldini making up 5, Luno making up 4, and Matozo having a horrible start, and Aurelian, well, Aurelian's not in the lobby, making 10 places down. Losing 10 places, I beg your pardon. The rest of the grid hasn't really changed. Frank having a bad start as well, also losing 2 places. As things will settle down here, looking like interweather, I'm assuming everybody is on the intermediate tyre. Yeah, as Moustache will set the fastest lap as he's the first one to cross the line. So, that was a bit of a shaky moment there for Moustache. Why am I looking at the fastest lap? So, first, a majority of the field separated by less than 1 second apart from Crystal and Pan. And Frank rapidly closing into the back of Crystal here. But he just has to follow, unfortunately, in this part of the track. There's no overtaking really here. It's ill-advised and can lead to very easily to shunts and incidents. Drivers are going to have to be on their best behaviour today to avoid absolute chaos, as we've seen in F4 in the rain on Friday night. As Cohen looks to be checking out Frank, seeing if his move is able to be done. Apologies if I miss any action, guys, because it is just myself here this evening, as Luno is also rapidly closing in onto the back of Vilzu. Again, not really thinking of making a move. It's just all about, unfortunately in the rain, it's just all about following the driver in front of you. There's no DRS obviously either. And you just got to keep the car on the track, as Frank again now is closing onto the back of Jean. Moustache sets another fastest lap of 1:19.5. Is he going to look into in turn 1? He's going to go on the outside. Both drivers giving each other plenty of space. Lovely, clean racing here, boys. As he doesn't get the move to stick. Crystal with some nice defending there, but he is still following the back. Is he going to make a move into the hairpin? Full send by Frank? No, he's going to follow and stay behind. As the Alpha Tauri of Cohen also having a look at Frank. Behind here, staying very close to hit the back of his gearbox. We're going to follow this for a little while longer. These three are going to be battling hopefully for the whole race. Lovely clean stuff from them so far, as Kenny is arriving on the scene momentarily. Twist staying with Moustache, then a bit of a gap forming there between Pan and Crystal. And Aurelian's car is, well, it's 12 seconds behind because it's AI. Scotty is also closing to the back of Liam Cross, as Matozo has made a move on Luno, and the two of them are going to go side by side in what is the apparent DRS zone, even though there is no DRS. Going to the chicane, no move being made by Luno. Keeping it relatively clean. Good stuff, lads. This is what we love to see. No incidents, no crazy safety cars, none of this shenanigans. These are real drivers, real men. Quality stuff. As Frank again and Crystal are going to go at it into turn 1. Frank this time looking down the inside, and there's a bit of contact there as Crystal has to go onto the gravel. I think he closed the door on himself there. He's lost a few positions now, unfortunately, because of that. Commentator's curse, as Marco gets past him as well. Crystal losing about 5 places there, unfortunately, with that incident. And Cohen again is sniffing the tyres off Frank. Right behind him. Going into this tricky section of the track here. A lot of right-handers. Very easy for the tyres to overheat as well in the wet. If you haven't adjusted your pressures, we don't know the weather, but I'm assuming it's going to be wet for quite some time. Twist staying with Moustache, two Aston Martin drivers up the front. And Panos is just, well, he's just enjoying life by himself. Kenny also closing into the back of Cohen now in the fight for, which is essentially P4, because the three of these drivers are going to be battling it out now for a while. Aldini in 7th by himself with a bit of a gap. Marco kind of following him now, staying close to the back of his gearbox, as Vilzu is now closing into the back of Crystal as well. Vilzu's going to look to make the move into turn 1. Stay here with this for the time being. And we can also see Marco is about to make a move on Aldini further up the field as Vilzu goes on the outside, this time in Crystal, and he's gone very, very wide too onto the gravel, unfortunately for him, and he's going to lose a few places now as the drivers behind him pick him off. Cohen still sticking close to Frank. Great stuff from the two of these guys. Frank unfortunately involved in a little incident with Crystal, but I think it was a racing incident. It's up to the stewards to decide though. And Cohen is really, really sticking with Frank here, putting him under a lot of pressure. Any mistake and he will be ready to pounce on him. Crystal also under a lot of pressure from Madzo. Anyway. And a bit of a gap is forming between Twist and Pangri. Now 2 seconds is the gap. The two Aston Martin drivers are in a league of their own at the moment. And a bit of a train is forming here from Crystal, from P9 all the way down to P14. All the drivers separate by less than a second. All taking the penultimate turn here. And further up the field, Cohen is still following Frank, but he's dropped off a tiny bit, though, actually, because of Frank himself now is encountering a bit of traffic with Pangri coming up quite closely to him as well. Race seems to be settling down. Aston Martin boys are pulling away. Very clinical from them too. So far from the first 6 laps, no safety cars yet, thank God. We had, I think, 3 in the first 10 laps in F4, which wasn't great. Different world, different standards. And this seems to be the battle at the time at the moment, though, is that Cohen is just sticking with Frank the whole way through, just sometimes pushing him through the corners, especially in the first sector. Just waiting for him to make a mistake. He's not attacking him, he doesn't need to. If he feels an opportunity will arise, I'm sure he'll go after him, with Kenny doing the exact same thing on Cohen, as Vilzu has gone past Liam. As Liam is actually on the gravel, we missed that. And Scotty's gone past him as well, as Liam has unfortunately spun for him. He's going the wrong way, that's okay. Yellow flag in Sector 3, will he have any wing damage is the question. We'll find out now if he decides to pit. Further up the field, as we've seen drivers side by side here, Matzo and Crystal. Crystal again having a driver attacking him into turn 1. And the two, and Matzo has gotten the move done. Going to turn 3 into the hairpin now. Crystal taking a bit of a wider line there. I'm supposed to get a better exit to attack Matzo back into Sector 2. But unfortunately he's just going to have to follow him at this point. Vilzo closing into the back of Luno as well. As Liam unfortunately has a bit of work to do now to catch up. Twist staying with Moustache. If the rain does ease up, he will have DRS if it gets enabled at this rate. As Vilzo and Luno are fighting again. And I think Luno actually went off the track as Scotty has gone past him as well. Unfortunately, I missed that. As Twist is now rapidly catching Moustache. The two of them very, very close now, coming into the second last exit. And I think he's going to try and get the move to stick here into turn 1. I'm assuming both drivers are using because the guy isn't changing. He decides to back out of the move. Further down the field, Kenny is closing into the back of Cohen, who's drifted away a bit from Frank. And stable gaps forming between all the drivers here now. Nothing exceptionally exciting happening on the track, as we'll go back up to the top now. as Twist is hanging with Moustache here. These two guys, excellent standards from the two of them. Having their own little private race here. I'm sure this is like one of their practice sessions if they do decide to do that against each other. As Vilzu also closing in on Crystal, excuse me. Again, Crystal, I think, struggling with the wet weather and difficulties in traction. For him, recently only turned off all assists. He's been doing great, and he's a pad driver as well, which is a very, very good achievement on this game. Further the field, Twist is closing down on Moustache again, as these boys are going to go at it into turn 1 again. As there's a yellow flag in sector 3, as I think that's Aldini has come off the track, and he is letting everyone past him. Safely rejoining, not causing any chaos. So almost a 4-second gap now between P2 and P3. Really pulling away here. Very clinical from the two Aston Martin boys. Kenny right on the back of Cohen now as well. Visibility must be a bit difficult for him. But this is one of the main differences between driving at no line versus driving at line. When you're following a driver closely with no line, it doesn't affect you. But if you're following a driver with the line on, the racing line turned on, you may not see your braking point, or a less experienced driver might not know their braking point because they religiously follow the line. As Matoso has been passed by two drivers, must have had a slight moment. And Vilzu again now closing into the back of Crystal. Going into this tricky chicane as Cohen gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits, as Kenny has gotten past him as well. Must have had a little moment there very early on in the race to be getting penalties, unfortunately for him. As now Kenny is going to be Frank's latest contestant to follow him around the track and try and get past him. Frank's been very steady so far in P4. As Vilza and Crystal are going side by side into turn 1. Crystal taking the outside line, and I think he might have to... No, he's coming right back at Kenny. This is great stuff from the two of them. Excellent, clean driving from the two of them. You're going to go side by side into the hairpin. There's a bit of a shake there from Crystal, but he's okay. And he's actually managed to get ahead of Kenny. Lovely stuff there, lads. Amazing. Absolutely splendid driving. And Matoso is right on the back of Vilzu now after that little scrap that he's had, that Vilzu's had with Crystal. And he'll be waiting to pick up the pieces if any carnage is to occur in front of him. Scotty also in the same position directly behind Matoso. Now, and it appears that Vilzu has actually gotten past Crystal, but Crystal's coming right back at him again, and there's contact with the Williams and the Alfa Romeo. And further back afield, the Ferrari and the Mercedes are going side by side into the chicane as well. Crystal takes a bit of curve there, but seems to have unbothered him. Very close between these three drivers here. There's almost 5 drivers in contention here to take the spot, as Luno gets a 5-second time penalty for corner cutting, and that was a pretty big one. I'm assuming going further back up following this here with Crystal, Vilzu, Matoso and Aldini and Scotty, as they're going to turn 1 further back. Scotty, Aldini going side by side. Scotty's already gotten the move done. Aldini's got to have to go wide. Further up the field, Twist is also very close to the back of Moustache now. 5-second gap between him and third place. And Crystal, through all of that, has managed to keep the position. Very good stuff. Very clean. It's been excellent. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1, as Aldini has lost it, and that is going to bring out the safety car. I think it gives everybody from P8 to P11 a chance to breathe after all that chaos. So it's going to bring the pack up together. And I think if you're the two Aston Martin boys, you're not exactly too happy here now to see a safety car. They were having their own little race and enjoying themselves. That's been suspended for now, as the safety car has come out of the pits. It's up to Moustache to catch him. Will we see anyone pitting now? I don't think so, but what do I know? I'm only a bot driver. As we see both Moustache and Twist diving into the pits. And I think they should be both okay. I don't think there's going to be much of a problem with a double stack here. This Twist is already, as Moustache is already out. And Panos has gone out into the medium compound tires, so maybe the track is drying up, or maybe he's made a mistake. No, Cohen's done the same thing. We have drivers on dry tire compounds. Now, how long before the track dries up is the question. Scotty is also taking the gamble to the mediums, as Luno's gone to the hards as well, and I think he served his 5-second time penalty. Very, very interesting. Some drivers deciding to gamble early. If it works, it'll pay off massive dividends for them. As Aurelian says, he has had internet issues in his building. Unfortunate to hear that for you, mate. Let's hope you get back on the track soon, because you are very, very quick and enjoy to watch. So, having a look here and seeing who has done what so far. Panos has gone up 2 places, Frank down 1, Kenny up 2, Cohen up 3, Boto Marco up 3, Crystal's remained where he is, Vilzu has gone up 2, Matozo down 6, unfortunately for him, Scotty up 3, Luno up 3, Liam down 1, and Aurelian is not in the race, with Aldini DNFing. So, not a bad standard, but some very, very good battles to watch so far. The Frank via Kenny and Cohen, and Crystal v Vilzu and Matozo and Scotty and Aldini for a portion of it was very, very clean and interesting to watch. Oh, as Cohen has a bit of a shake there under the safety car. It'll probably be around for 1 or 2 more laps. Oh, as Cohen's hit the wall, I hope he hasn't got any damage from that now. I think Cohen's on the hard tire, if I'm correct. And what was that? He's on the medium tire. Oh, what was that? This is why, when you gamble, going on the dry tires, you're very, very careful. It's still wet. It looks like the rain has stopped altogether. And we'll probably get, this is the last lap of the safety car, depending if the game detects Aurelian's AI or not. Right, as Cohen has dropped places, as I'm assuming he just lost the car temporarily and got the place back now. That's okay. Track is going to probably dry quite slowly because it's overcast weather as well. I was fine, there isn't a whole lot to say during safety car periods, so you can just kind of ramble along quite nicely. I'm assuming the safety car will be in this lap. We shall see. We'll find out now in just a second. No, it doesn't appear to be, unless it's going to be a very, very late call. To be honest, I like being in Panos' position here though, because he's gone onto the tire, the medium tire, and the track is drying. So, and the track is drying while they're under safety car, so he's getting the best of both worlds here. He's given himself a very, very good opportunity to challenge for the win, as we have a driver diving into the pits. Some random messages appeared on my screen and I can't actually see who it is. 3 drivers dropped into the pits, all changing probably into dry tyres. Christo, Vilzu and Frank. Well, Panos looks like he's done a masterclass now, as the 2 Aston Martins, who were comfortably sailing on their own, now they're in a bit of trouble. And is that going to keep the safety car for another lap? I don't think so. I think they'll all catch up in time. But this is a disaster for Erling, because he's now He had a P10 in his first race in Hungary, and then a P2. And this is going to be a bit of a dent to his championship hopes. So Vilzu and Crystal and Luno are probably all going to try and go to the end here with these hard compound tires. I didn't like the hards around Netherlands myself, but needs must. With the medium runners probably going to be pitting again, expecting another safety car, as the safety car is in this lap, and Moustache will take it away for the restart. Morgan Mathieu. Going to slow the pack up quite nicely now. Let the car get into the pit lane. We've seen some questionable restarts already this weekend. I doubt we're going to see a questionable one here. Now it's just a question of letting the safety car go into the pit lane, and then he can go off to at his leisure. And I think he's already gone by the looks of it. Yep. Has he caught anyone napping? Has he caught Twist napping? No, Twist is right on the back of him here, and I think he's going to make a move into turn one. Very, very close. No, he hasn't made a move, as there's been multiple drivers pitting for the dry tires, as Matozo has gotten past Cohen, and Luno has gone past Luno and Liam are fighting. Sorry, I beg your pardon. And further back, Frank is in the mix there as well, lagging slightly behind. Liam with only one on the intermediate tires out of this group here. A bit of contact there, but it all seems to be quite clean, as the Red Bull and I think it's the Mercedes are fighting as well. Luno and Scotty. Track seems to be drying up quite nicely, and drivers are finding more grip. As Liam, he's going to be quite exposed here, so he's going to have to pit now, unfortunately. Cohen's gotten quite nice. Cohen has to get quite nicely away from this here ASAP. He's got the buffer between himself and Luno with Liam on the intermediate tyres. As those tyres are going to start overheating very, very soon. As neither Twist or Moustache have actually went in for dries. So they obviously feel they can get a bit more grip. As Moustache hits the fastest lap of the race, as Panos gets past Twist, as Fisk goes into the pit lane, as Mentosa gets a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunately for him, this track has a 60 km/h speed limit in the pit, as opposed to the standard 80. It's a disaster for him now. As I'm assuming the two Aston Martin boys are in a voice chat together, and they have agreed who will pit first. A party, I beg your pardon. So only two drivers left in the intermediate tyres, Liam and Moustache. As Frank is closing into the back of Scotty, now we're going to start seeing the true pace of the drivers. As Scotty gets past Liam on the intermediate tyres. And they're going side by side, Frank and Liam Cross now. It's going to almost be three wide as Liam kind of jots out to the inside there and jots back in onto the racing line. I think he's just letting Crystal, his teammate, pass. It's fair play from him. Vilzu closing into the back of Frank now. Again, we've seen this battle once or twice already, with Crystal staggering behind as Panos hits the fastest lap of the race, and he now goes in P1 as Moustache pits. That looks like it should be Liam finally entering the pit as DRS has gotten enabled. Scotty into P4 after being in P11 for a lot of this race. Great stuff from him. And Luno as well into P3 with Cohen P2. Moustache enters into pits and takes the hard compound tyres. Liam also takes the hard compound tyres. With Luno closing in on Cohen. Cohen on the faster tyre for now. But after about 10, 11, 12, 13 laps, those mediums are going to start to drop off depending on how hard you are pushing them, with Frank right on the back of Scotty. He's going to have a helping of DRS now, which has been activated since the start of this lap. Bit of a train forming now from P2 all the way to P8. P7, sorry. And we're probably going to see Scotty try and make a move here. As Panos hits another fastest lap. Multiple drivers setting purple laps for themselves. And as Frank says, the fastest lap of the race. Scotty goes a bit deep there into turn 1. Frank not capitalising on it. Twist now setting the fastest lap on his fresh hard tyres. He has a bit of work to do now to catch up. The two Aston Martin boys have, unfortunately, I think they've gotten the strategy wrong here, and Panos has had an absolute masterclass with strategy, pitting early for the medium compound tyres. Same with Cohen, as Scotty is rapidly closing onto the back of Luna, and he's going to get a nice helping of DRS here with that rear wing being activated. Panos having a race by himself, good 3.5 seconds ahead of Cohen. But this is potentially 5-6 drivers in contention here for P3. P3 or P2. We love a good scrap here in the Ero. Good high standard racing with no shunting, no collisions, no incidents. As the AlphaTauri and the Red Bull have gone side by side into turn 1, and there's a tiny bit of contact there, as a bit of a shake as well from the back of Cohen. He's managed to keep the position on Luna as Kenny sits the fastest lap of the race. Further back, Vilzu is right on the back of Frank as well, as Liam Cross gets a 3-second time penalty for track limits. And Sash has a bit of work to do now. He's 11 seconds off to catch up, and Twist is right behind him still, as Frank is right wheel to wheel, as there's contact there between himself and Scotty in the Mercedes. Frank's going to get more DRS here, so Scotty coming out of the exit here. It's all about who gets the better exit, with Vilzu racing right behind, and I think Frank has used all his battery because he is flashing behind as they go side by side into the chicane, coming cleanly there between himself and Vilzu. They've kept it very clean there. It was great stuff. Vilzu's just waiting here. I think he's going to have a go at Frank now. He's got the battery difference. He's already gone on the inside. We'll say nothing about that. As Luno gets up into second place, them two are fighting, going back onto the main action here. Vilzu gets past Frank as Luno and Cohen are fighting into turn 3. Bit of contact there, a bit of a shaky moment again from the AlphaTauri as Luno manages to make the move stick onto the curb there, not giving each other a lot of space. As a yellow flag in sector 3 and 1, but we will stick with this for the moment as Luno is right on the back of Cohen's gearbox, following him very closely in sector 2 into the long right-handers. Now a bit of a gap forming now. Panos has nearly got a 5-second advantage in Cohen because of all this squabbling that's going on behind him. This is great from these 5 or 6 drivers. Absolutely fantastic stuff. From P2 all the way down to P7. Excellent stuff, lads. As Musash also got overtaken by Matozo, we missed that in the chaos that's going on here. Going on to the main straight is a yellow flag in sector 2, and that looks to be Liam Cross again, I think. I think he spun, unfortunately for him. And here we go. Luno going to look at Cohen. Gets the move done even before the breaking point of turn 1. Great stuff from him. And now the rest of them are on the scene, ready to feast and gain some positions themselves. As Matozo has also gotten past Twist further back. Dive from the Mercedes on the inside of turn 3. Very clean side-by-side stuff. Doesn't make the move stick. As Matozo is playing foil here to the two Aston Martins. They were having a lovely little party by themselves up the front, and now they're back in 9th and 10th. Now, further back up here, this has been an excellent battle to watch since the rain finished between these 6 drivers now. As Frank and Vilds are going to go side by side into the DRS zone, with Crystal waiting right behind. Into the chicane we go. It's a question of who's bravest here on the brakes. Decide to all take it in single file. Great stuff. Very clean again. This is an excellent standard of racing for everybody. The field is very, very tight here. Panos has kind of stopped building his gap now. He's got 4-second lead on Luno. As Scotty does not make a move. No one makes a move there, actually, of these 6 drivers. They must be having great fun doing this. As Twist has finally gotten past Matozo into the hairpin in turn 3 in sector 1. No contact, no moves made. Vilzu right on the back of Frank again. Breathing down his neck. If you have just tuned in, welcome. You have missed only one safety car so far, one DNF. Aurelian is not here, hence the 21-second gap. And that's really been the highlight of this race so far. Some great strategy calls by Panos and Cohen to pit early onto the medium compound tyres before the rain had finished. And that has got us to where we are. Panos was initially in 3rd place for the majority, for the first third of the race, with the 2 Aston Martins leading. Yeah, and he just had a strategic masterclass. And they are going to go at it again, as Frank has got DRS and Scotty here. Decides not to make the move, has a peak for 1 second. And thinks against it, as Mustache is closing in on Matozo. But yeah, I don't think he's got the battery to make the move here. As Matozo has a little look there, the 3 of them getting very, very close there. And Frank right on the back of Scotty's gearbox as well. It's very difficult here. You have to be very, very good at following the driver here in front of you on this track. Not a lot of overtaking spots in Zandvoort. As there's a yellow flag in sector 1 and sector 3, as that looks to be the McLaren, as a VSC has been deployed. Oh, we missed this. Sorry, guys. Kenny, I must have had a moment. My apologies. Because Kenny is now behind Mustache and Matozo. VSC is deployed. Race has been frozen temporarily. Now drivers have to be careful not to get a drive-through penalty here for speeding under the VSC and not adhering to the Delta, as Liam Cross has retired in the pits. Unfortunately for him, not a great day. Unfortunately blocked in qualifying, which caused him to DNF and couldn't really recover from that. Aurelian up to P13, doing absolutely nothing. Good job from you. As we have Scotty diving into the pits, as he's also got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. This catches so many drivers out in this track, it's not the traditional 80 kilometers an hour. Matozo also going into the pits. Will he not? He will not fall victim to the same fate. So Kenny making his way back up as DRS has been enabled and the race has been restarted. Drivers trying to take advantage of the last time he was spent in the pits under VSC. The 2 Aston Martin boys are going hunting. Bit of a gap to catch on Crystal, who's now up to P6. Frank again closing down and Cohen closing. And DRS is enabled now. Luno being the one who's kind of losing out at the moment in one respect, because he is the only one not having DRS behind him, and he's going to be under attack pretty soon by Cohen, I fear. It all depends on the exit from the second last turn, which is turn 13, I think. All drivers closely following each other into that slipstream, as Frank again plays the dummy, as there's a late dive there on the AlphaTauri on Luno. Does he get the move to stick side by side into turn 3? Bit of contact into the hairpin, as a bit of a shake. That's happened many times tonight now, as Cohen has lost the position, and I think Frank has lost the position as well. All following each other very, very closely, and there could be an incident here. Just keep it safe on the track, lads. It's been great standards so far. Let's keep this going. Oh, as Frank is hitting the back of Cohen there. I hope he hasn't damaged his wing. I think Aurelian's car is going to give someone DRS who shouldn't be getting it in Luno. As he's driving straight through his ghosted car. Naughty, naughty. Now, coming into the main straight again, as Frank is already getting this move done by the looks of it. But he's used up all his battery. Will he get the move to stick? It looks like he will as he takes the inside line. Vilzu and Cohen, Vilzu and Crystal also battling it out. Frank has gotten the move to stick against Cohen. Great stuff from all these guys so far. Going through the hairpin again, following each other in single file. Clean as a relative whistle. Vilzu just waiting. I think he's just waiting for that big shunt to happen in front of him, just to pick up the pieces and not get involved in anything himself. I know he had a bit of a spin there beforehand. As Kenny is now behind the two Aston Martins as well. Scotty's going to look to make up some places with the better tyres. All the medium runners in front of him are going to have to pit. That includes Panos and Frank and Cohen. Cohen now is closing in on Frank. He's going to get a helping of DRS as well, going into the main straight. And I think he's got the he's got the battery advantage, but I think he's been there's been contact there actually. That was a bit cheeky. The three now going to go almost 3 wide now into turn 2. It's a lot of contact here, a lot of shaking there from the AlphaTauri. Going into turn 3. Let's keep it clean, boys. As we said, Vilzu just waiting to pick up the pieces, and that was his chance, I think. Luno was a bit of a sitting duck there, unfortunately. Couldn't do a whole lot about it, as Cohen almost goes onto the grass. Cohen right on the back of Frank. Kick a bit of curb there, may cost him a bit of time. Should be okay though. Vilzu following very, very closely behind. Crystal is sagging off a tiny bit. He needs to pick up the pace if he wants to keep with these guys. He doesn't want to fall out of DRS here, or he'll start falling victim to the Aston Martins that are rapidly gaining due to all this squabbling. Vilzu making the move on Cohen, going in side by side down to the penultimate turn 13. Who, as he'll get the move to stick, he takes a bit of curb there, and that probably causes him to lose the car a tiny bit as Cohen gets straight past him. This giving Frank an opportunity to attack Luno unencumbered by the people behind him. And he's not going to get the move to stick as Moustache has overtaken Twist. Again now, it's a late dive there. There's a tiny bit of contact, very, very clean. Great defending there by Vilzu. Cohen and Vilzu putting on an absolute clinic today on defensive driving and just biding your time as he's trying to make a move down here. I think that was more dummying than anything else. Excellent stuff. If you're just tuning in, welcome. Oh, as Cohen has gone miles off the track. He's done well to keep the car there. Safely rejoin the track, mate. His tyres are going to be absolutely weathered now. As we go back up, Crystal picking up all the pieces now. He's gone from P8 to P4. Sometimes it's not about being the fastest person on the track. It's just about staying on the track, letting other people make the mistakes. And now, is Crystal going to have a look at Frank here? He hasn't really got the battery to do so, but Frank's got no battery left. As they're going to go side by side into turn 1 with Luno there acting as a foil to Frank. As there's a bit of contact there, and Crystal went onto the curb and almost lost the car. Good job for him to save the car into turn 3. Keeping it very, very clean. Vilzu again just biding his time, waiting there. As Marco and Cohen are fighting. Oh, sorry, I beg your pardon. Cohen just went to the pits. Cohen going on to softs for the end for the last 7 laps of this race. And the Aston Martin boys are on a charge, making their way back. Panos is just probably reading poetry or something at this by himself. He's been doing great. But Luno hasn't really had a chance to rest because he's just being attacked the whole time by the drivers behind him. Which was once 6, now is 4. Two Aston Martins are closely following following one another. Well, one Aston Martin's following the other one closely enough. Behind them is Kenny. So Frank closing in now on Luno with his DRS. Is he going to make the move? He is not going to this time. Not even a dummy this time. And Crystal following closely behind. Those are slightly off the pace now. And the race seems to be settling down ever so slightly, apart from these four. Big gaps forming here between Scotty and Marco and Cohen and Matozo. Well, if you finish the race now, lads, you all get points. Because top 12 get points in the Ero this season. And if you're Frank in this position, your tires are going to be quite worn. So the question is, do you even try to attack for P2? Because the hards are still going to have a bit of life left in them. And you've got Crystal and Vilzu behind you, and the two Aston Martins are gaining. They've gained about 2 seconds now in the last 2 laps. So the drivers in front of them. Well, he's gotten a very good exit there, Frank, and he's also getting DRS, and he's going to go for the move now into turn 1. Already gets the move done. Great stuff from him. And Twist and Moustache are fighting again. Keeping it very clean, lads. Well done. Further up the field, Luno now is he gonna fight back? Does he have the battery to fight back? He has some battery, and Frank has recovered some himself. Cohen sets the fastest lap of the race as expected on his soft tyres and lower fuel load. Now, with Moustache following Twist quite closely, and apart from that, it's just Luno, Crystal, and Frank. And Vilzu. As Vilzu looking to get the move to stick against Crystal, these two fighting yet again. Very, very clean. This has been a pleasure to watch all afternoon. As Frank now will be the one under attack for the first time by Luno. He's going to have his own DRS with the rear wing already wide open. And I think Luno is going to sail by Frank here, unfortunately for him. Yeah. No contest. As Vilzu goes very, very close behind. And it's Crystal's turn to wait as the foil to the plans of the drivers ahead of him. Yeah. As Frank is closing down. Again, we've seen this before for a large portion of this race now since the wet weather stopped. As Moustache and Twist are coming very, very close to each other again. Palace must be loving this if he's watching the mini-map. Or if he's watching the stream, he just has to sit back and let them fight. Keep his pace, whatever lap times he's doing. Well, that's pretty much it. Now, Frank is going to have another go at Luno here. As there's a yellow flag in Sector 1, and that looks to be the Williams of Matozo. I think he's come off the track. There's another yellow flag as he's retired. I'm assuming he's lost the car. No, that looks like he's just retired on track. Yeah, I think that means he's retired on track. Anyway, Frank didn't manage to get past Luno, and neither did Vilzu manage to get past Frank. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there now, because he was guaranteed points if he finished the race. But we continue, not to worry. As Twist now has arrived finally on the scene and is going side by side with Crystal into the second DRS zone. Backs out of the move, but he's right behind him, and I'm assuming he's going to be using to try and get the move done before the chicane. Going to go side by side, take the outside line. Lovely stuff from the two of them to keep it clean. Great stuff from Moustache as well to keep it clean. As Twist has gotten the move done on Crystal at this part of the race. As there's contact there and his wing smashed off, between Crystal and Twist. Kenny manages to get past. Twist gets past Crystal. And the two Aston Martins are just hanging behind the Haas there. As Crystal and Moustache have to... Oh, as Moustache retires in the pits. And Crystal gets a 5-second penalty for speeding. In the pit lane, a lot of chaos there. That's our only main bit of chaos in this race so far. Unfortunate for Moustache. Was having a great race at the start. Unfortunate for him, as that has brought out the safety car as well. And all that chaos that happened. So, Cohen's pitted, Marco's pitted, and Scotty have all pitted onto the soft tyres. We're probably going to have a one-lap shootout here. So, those boys better haul their backsides if they want to reach the grid or the rest of the field in time. As Moustache leaves a lovely comment in the F1 chat after retiring in the pits. Bit of chaos there as Scotty goes straight past the safety car. I'm assuming this is just going to be one lap. It has to be just one lap. Musmenteo says the safety car robbed his win. I am inclined to agree with you there that you had a very, very good chance. Because, well, the two Aston Martins were running away with this as Panos. But you have to give Panos his credit. He gambled. And it looks to have paid off. As Twist is going to come into the pits now. Excuse me. And he's probably going to pit for softs. No wing change. And he obviously has the offset in time to do so. Going to be one lap of racing with no DRS. And Twist could make up quite a few positions if he catches the rest of the pack here. That was very close to the white line on the exit of the pit lane. As what's going on here is Crystal has entered the pits. And he's gone on to a set mediums, okay? So, one lap shootout to decide it all. Panos on old tyres. Luno on old tyres, Frank on old tyres, Vilzu on old tyres, and Kenny on old tyres. Kenny was not really a large factor in this race. He somehow snuck into P5. As the safety car naturally is going to be in this lap. In real life, we will probably end under the safety car, but this isn't real life completely. So, what can Twist do here? He's on the soft tyres. He's going to have so much more grip than everybody else. It's a question of how warm has he gotten them from the out lap there. Now, I'd say P2 is definitely a possibility from here. As Cohen has gotten a 3-second time penalty for track limits on the safety car. Because he was trying to haul ass to catch up with the rest of the grid. As I'm assuming Panos is going to go quite soon. He's leaving it very, very late here. And he is gone. Moving further down, as Twist made a place yet, he has not. It doesn't look like he's going to... You're going to have to keep it very clean to turn one here. As someone was very, very wide there. I think it was Cohen. Final lap of this race. As Twist has already gotten past Vilzer and Kenny into P4. Late dive there by Marco into the hairpin. Hits the curb as well. It gets past Kenny, but I'm not sure that was entirely clean. Three of them going 3 wide now. Scotty getting past Kenny. Kenny getting past Scotty. Scotty went quite wide there as Twist has now managed to make his way to P3. Amazing storm up the track here towards the end. He's gone side by side with Luno as well. Is Twist going to go for the win here? I don't think he's got enough track, unfortunately, or enough time. If he had one more lap, he probably would have. Scotty gets past Vilzer again. A lot of action going on the track here. We can't follow everything, unfortunately. But this has been a great recovery by Twist. Is he going to get Panos in the last turn? He's rapidly gaining. He's rapidly gaining. He's right on his gearbox. Can he do it? This is going to go straight to the line. This is going to go straight to the line. And Panos manages to hold on by the scruff of his teeth as someone decides to smash it up. And that was a very, very exciting finish to the race there. Amazing stuff. Great drive. As we were with Cohen for some reason. Well done to Panos. Hard luck to Twist. Almost the perfect recovery from him. Great stuff to watch, lads. Amazing stuff. As I've been sent a few weird DMs. So, to round out our final finishing order before instant reports, Panos first, OP Twist in second, Luno third. That rounds out our podium finishers. Frank in fourth, Marco fifth, Scotty sixth, Vilzu and Kenny round out seventh and eighth, Crystal ninth, Cohen 10th. Aurelian is 11th, but that won't count. Moustache in 12th, Matozo in 13th, Liam Cross in 14th. And last but not least, Aldini in 15th. Thank you very much for watching us tonight. I hope you've enjoyed the stream. We are back starting next Friday at 6 p.m. for the fourth round, which will be in Austria. If you liked the standards today and enjoyed watching our racing, consider joining Ero in the Discord channel. The link is in the description. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and good night.